concentric circles. Concentric circles. We don't live in a vacuum.
What is the story of your life? What does your story say about your experience? What can we learn from the stories we tell? Challenges you faced, choices you've made, outcomes you experienced. Challenges you faced, choices you've made, outcomes you've experienced. What challenges inspired actions or choices that set a trajectory in my life? Who am I? What makes me who I am? Who has affected me, impacted me, inspired me?
When I was about 8 or 9, she used to set up still lives for me.
Is it my mother?
Me how to draw from
Is it my father?
When I was about
My
13,
two brothers?
I decided that I wanted to be a folk
Is it my
singer.
teachers? Is it my friends? Musicians I admire? The artists I love?
I got a Beatles Easy Complete guitar book. I studied it, my practice, I worked through the blisters. Eventually I started songwriting and creating my own music. Singing and songwriting has been a big part of my life. I always loved to watch my dad play the song Blackbird on the guitar. I wanted to be able to play guitar like that.
Place. The place you are born surely shapes your experiences in life. It creates a contextual background for your perspective. I was born in the U.S., a liberal town in the Northwest, Portland, Oregon. My grandmother and her mother before her also lived in Portland. My mother grew up here, went to high school downtown at St. Mary's Academy. When I used to sing and play guitar as a street performer as a young adult, I enjoyed thinking about my mother growing up and experiencing her youth in this same city. She walked these same streets, she looked up at these same buildings. I don't know why that's so significant to me. I guess it just feels like I fit here, like a repetition of patterns. I feel like it's a continuation of sorts, like I'm part of a cycle of women undergoing a similar experience of coming to age in the city. This shared contextual background of Portland, Oregon. So yes, place, it is important, because it becomes a part of you. Anyone and everyone would have some sort of story, maybe good, maybe bad, that connects them in one way or another to the place, the space in relation to their surroundings, which they occupy. What about time? It would seem that the era in which you were born should affect who you are. Although I never seem to be in sync with my current generation. I was born in 1980, and what did I listen to in high school? Not the latest pop hits. I was listening to the Beatles, Cat Stevens, The Doors, Pink Floyd, Grateful Dead, Neil Young, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin. I was intrigued by the civil rights movement and the spirit of love and acceptance that was fostered in the generations of the 60s and 70s. I've never been up to date with contemporary music or media, so in a way I'm not fully in sync with the times that I live in. So, time could be experienced in a relative, subjective way. I was raised Catholic, not real strictly. We went to church on Christmas and Easter, and eventually we didn't go at all anymore. I did go to Sunday school for a short while. I was always the one to ask the challenging questions they didn't want to talk about. I was in a Catholic youth group once. We were given a project to inspire teamwork and self-esteem building. They gave us buckets of paint in our own room that we could mural paint from top to bottom. The sky is the limit. Such a lovely job. There were landscapes and seascapes outstretched. The heavens meeting the earth, and the black and white hands joined together in harmony. We included universal symbols that to me represented life, balance, peace. A yin and yang, an ankh. We thought it would look cool to have flames edging the ceiling. It was a really beautiful space, so vibrant, so colorful, and we were proud. The youth group leader thought it was great. He was proud of us too. I stopped going to this youth group. I found out a day or two later. The director of the program came in. She was horrified by these symbols. She was terrified by the hellish flames that went around the ceiling. She had it all painted white. I was angry. I was hurt. I felt betrayed, and I felt confused. This left a bitter taste in my mouth of closed-minded and fear-based prejudice. To know yourself is to know where you are coming from and why you are commenting on what you are and how your art relates to your life experiences.
Someone once said to me,
If you don't know your own story, if you don't tell your own story, others will tell it for you. How true is that? True is that? True is that? How true is that? True is that? What is my story as an artist? What am I exploring, expressing, uncovering, discovering? Who has inspired me? Why do I love these artists? What is it about their work that speaks volumes to me? My story was one of a spirit of curiosity and innocence, meeting the resistance of judgment and fear, followed by censorship and control. But this treatment only proved to further entice my curiosity, adding to it the element of rebellion in the face of persecution. For now, I wanted to know, what was so wrong with the yin and yang symbol? What was so unappealing about an Egyptian Ankh symbol? What was so threatening about the concepts or philosophies these symbols represented? When I read about different theologies of the world, I can see more similarities than differences. There are many different stories from many different lands and cultures, but in some way they all tell the same story over and over again. People, however, they always fear what they don't know, what is unfamiliar or foreign. Perhaps it's an evolutionary response to threats in a changing environment, a mechanism to keep safe from harm. But this fear is what builds barriers and divisions between people and crumbles the fabric of our social community.